Okay, I'm going to show the station a little bit. I gotta get down here. It's a striking anvil. This is just a stand for making striking anvils. You can put anvils and things on it just as it is also, but Ryan made these two stands, Ryan Schwader, and they're lower. He works with Boy Scouts, and I like them especially for a striking anvil and for making the striking anvil. I'll start with this one. This doesn't have sand yet. This one does. This one does not. It's pretty important to put the sand and oil in there when you make these, and you fill them in these holes. And this is a blank for striking anvil. You weld a handle on there, and you have one person handle, and then the other you'll put over the hole, you know, and then you'll start drifting it, make it square. Use an undersized hole, and you'll make a nice hardy stem. But yeah, that's just the stand, a universal stand. It has a equal out foot pattern, 20 inches. So you can, if you're on concrete, you can rearrange your shop, righties, lefties, and then, you know, some of my other tools also have the universal stand. So when you want to change your shop around, when you're on concrete, you can without drilling new holes. Yeah, pan to catch your drifts. Don't damage concrete if you're in concrete. This is a striking anvil. I was going to demonstrate, you know, putting the keys in. You know, this is just I've done some videos using this. It's like a small die anvil. Got a butcher, the sets, the flat dies, radiuses, and a regular fuller. But I have extra long holes also in a lot of my stems. That way you can put them on all kinds of anvils and just different setups. So I'll use two keys for this. Not the side I'm usually working on. Anyway. Alright. And then, you know, you tap them in. And then it's part of your anvil, you know. And yes, they're easy to remove. I usually use a punch to get them out. As far as loading this stuff up, everything goes in buckets. I'll just go ahead and put these in buckets and I'll show you. You know, it's quick load and unload. I've done events and I'm usually able to set up within a half hour if I know where I'm set up. And before now these are the removable racks, and the I've got a brush on there. Very simple, but yeah, they come in and out. They also, because there's a universal pattern on all these anvil stands, they're interchangeable with any of the others, you know. I'll go ahead and show that. I've done some stations before at different places, like in California, a couple of places back in 2014, and then 2016, And then John Perillou's 2017 down in Louisiana before we went to Africa. And Ohio, Ed and I, helped with Jamie Geyer put 10 stations in. And Rob, a lot of people are getting them now. Mark Ling, he was one of the first to like do a lot of this stuff. And yeah, take that out and you're ready to pack it up. I'll show you my vise next. I gotta get around here and move my camera. I'm not good at this videoing yet, but so here's my striking vise, and I got a couple tools in there. I use this for a lot of things. I'm not going to show you everything. I have to remember everything, but this is just like for an upsetting plate down here, part of the stand, and I've just got a piece of bar stock that I can adjust the height to back up. Like when I'm doing noses and eyes, punches, I use this to do the chiseling or the fullering. And here's another tool. This is for making the racks. Let me get it. I clamp it in the vise, and then I just bend it around the mandrel, and once you got the math figured out, you can replicate this stuff pretty easily. I do try and encourage groups, if they want to make hammers and stuff, to get this type of equipment, or I would actually come and help to build it. Several people have been building it, but not quite up to specifications, and they're missing out on some very simple things that makes it a lot easier and faster to replicate. And yes, I can now do group classes since there's more of these stations around. I only had the one for the longest time, and now people are starting to build them in different parts of the country and hopefully the world. But yeah, there's other things. These are for offsets when you do tongs. And yeah, I think this needs a, this way. No, it's this way. Yeah. You put your bar in there, and it does your dog leg or whatever, and real quick slick. I got two different sizes. You make any size you want, but this is the most common size. I use 5/8 and 3/4. That's just jaws that aren't as coarse for bending and things like that. Yeah, I've got some simple bending. Well, this is a bangle mandrel. Then I've got bracelet also, depending on your size. That's the oval. I got the round. Let's see. This is just a universal scroll jig. You can step down, and it goes in the vise. I also clamp them onto my anvils, or my die anvil or block anvil. When I don't need a vise, like if I do a collaring class, you got a lot of people, they can all work at their anvil instead of sharing a vise, and they just clamp on, simple clamps, Here's a little tool for, you know, bending. You can do lots of things with all these tools, but like if I want to bend these, it has a stop, and then I bend all the same length. I cut the same length, I bend the same length, draw at the corner, and they practically make themselves, you know, real simple. So I'll put that back. Anyway, that's enough of that. There's a lot of stuff down there too, but I'll show you the TV tray next. The TV tray. Let me get up here. The TV tray, you know, it's collapsible, and yeah, you can put a lot of stuff on there. If it was on cement, I could stand right there on it. I've seen people do that, and even on dirt, which I wouldn't advise. Those feet can sink in. But it's got a lot of different things, and I've got a lot of things missing in there. But I store my block anvil on there, or the die anvil and other things, so I don't have to bend down and pick them up. And you know, hammers, hardy tools, whatever. And there's some things that are hanging that you can't see, but throw my drifts under there, all that stuff. And then here's my forge. I went ahead and took the mud out. It wasn't as good as I wanted it to be. It gave me too small of a fire for other things. Fine for the cross, but I want more. And I have to get down on this, and I'll move my chair I'm standing on, and I'll show you some things about the forge. Okay. Now my stand is crowding me a little bit, the tripod stand. But I went ahead and got a piece of long stock. I have heavy stock too, but the forge is like the first thing in the shop, of course, and I want my forge 30 inches tall, and everything in my shop, my anvils, my TV tray, my striking vise, everything else is either that height or lower. And that way, if I'm doing a large project, I can use those as stands in my shop so that I can pull long pieces out without having to pick them up, heavy pieces. And you know, the forge is designed to go across and heat up this way. You can also heat up this way if I take this stuff out to the height of your forge. Slide it in and out. And I have, my leg's in the way of can you see the swing out? This swing out, it's real simple, you know, up and down, whatever heights you want. And it also can be used to assist when you're doing long pieces to cut at the hardy. I'll show that when I show the anvil, I guess. I have to move my leg here. I have the racks too. These are removable. Tongs, some hammers, whatever you need. A lot of times I'll have a rack on the other side too. And like I say, they're removable, so if you do large projects, you can, you know, use your table or your forge as a table, and access your fire from any angle. So that's important, you know, if you do railings, gates, and things like that. We got a lot of people don't have a water mop. Now this one's could be a little longer. I don't like them real long, but I learned this. Hobberman, you know, they use water for their coal, but also as a to clear the forges and stuff too, you know, and you can use it to keep a piece cool, you know. And yeah, I've been using them ever since I got around Alfred Haberman. And I'm going to show you my Anvil now. Okay. So yeah, that's my Anvil. You know, it's keyed in also. You know, take it in and out. This one's just on a stand. This is a normal. The maximum height. It's 22 inches high, and with a striking anvil, it'd be 24. I wouldn't go any higher for striking. You want as much throw as you can have. And then when I put my anvil, it puts it right at the 30 inches. This one doesn't, this stand does not have a striking anvil. I'm not going to put one on this, but you know, I'll still use it. It's a little low, but I'll dig me a little foot place where I stand. This is a version of a keyed in tool. I made this for doing belt buckles, working on a low hill, and yeah, you key it in. This is, you've seen this on video possibly, just a smaller anvil for getting across when you're doing rings, things like that. Similar to the reason I made this. And they key in, you know, a lot of times I'll use a 2-key system. With this too, 1 key depends. Like I say, I made this is an earlier version, so it has a slot that's not as long as what I'm doing now. But I can still, for different anvils, I can put a spacer in there and still use the key. And it does fit all what I have. So, and the racks are removable also. You know, everything's, you know, I don't have to have those there, but I like to have them, my little drifts, whatever. Sometimes I'll put punches there, and that's a mandrel for making bangles and round bangles. And also this little notch is for making pendants, where I put like a horse head inside, and then I do a half circle or whatever. And yes, you can clamp these things onto your anvil also, instead of going to the vise. Well, if you don't have a vise. Oh, well, no, I don't have that tool. I'm just trying to think of what else I can show you. Ask some questions, I'll show you more. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff. I can do just about anything and everything when I go places. And, you know, I can lift it all by myself. The heaviest thing is my vise and stand, but and I can take the vise off. I usually don't, but I've lifted that also by myself. You've got to be a little smarter than a heavy thing, but everything else is real light. The forge definitely is light. You know, it's just light angle iron, and you know the pieces. Let me show you that again. I think I might be able to do it without getting up there. I'm sure that, but you don't want to weld anything to this. These are all just pieces that support the fire pot. They go across here, and it's tubing, so it doesn't get this hot. A lot of forges that I've seen people build out of, usually they use 1/4 inch or something. sometimes heavier, but you can't get near this. It gets too hot, and this doesn't heat up because of the space between the pot. The pot, of course, gets hot, and this, and it being hollow, it doesn't do the same thing if it were solid. And since it's not welded to this, just like the pan, it's out of light stuff, it's not welded. Water can escape if you use water, which is good. And it doesn't warp when it gets hot. If you were to weld everything together and then just the heat from this, it would potato chip on it, warp. And these don't. I have another one over there, it's just bolted together. I've riveted the stands together, bolted. It can, you know, break down, be packed anywhere. I don't sell any of this stuff. I'm not set up for that, but I do design things that can be cheap and marketable, and yeah, the shipping, especially the forge, you know, it all breaks down. 5 stations went to Africa, and my forge went, and I did unrivet it, you know, just cut the heads off, and I didn't drag the other one over. I'm going to make a side blast with that one, show a different pot or whatever way of heating on that. But yeah, that's a pretty universal stand too. You can butt them up. I usually put a collar. They're the exact same dimension, and put a collar. That little gap here, I have a little spacer. And you may have seen that at Sofa a few years back. Ryan and I were butted up together, and down in Texas, when they did the Crossroads event that replaced Urbana that got canceled in 2022. We had 10 stations there. Mark Ling brought, I think, 6, and then Rob and Zach came from Indiana with their 2. Ed and I were butted up, and then there was I think another 2 over there butted up with Ethan Rose was working. But yeah, these stations are more portable than any I've seen around. I've seen a lot of portable stations. They have trailers and stuff, but we put the 5 with everything, tools make tools and all, block anvils at the time, and you know, a 4 forged pan, and then my station, and it fit all in the back of a regular pickup truck, you know. And we took that to Georgia, and then to California, and then it went to Africa. But yeah, not too many people got to see that, but anyway, it's a good little system. Think about it, it's a lot cheaper to build. You can make a lot of this stuff yourself, you know, and people are doing it now. So thanks for your time. We'll see you.